stay with me, because what happened that night in Redwood Crossing will make your heart ache and your blood boil. And before we begin, make sure you like and subscribe so you never miss a story like this again. The evening sun dipped low over Redwood Crossing, turning the dusty street into a river of gold. Most folks were heading home, but near the old water trove behind the mercantile, 3 ranch hands had cornered a young obese girl named Clara. She was new to town, carrying nothing but a carpet bag and a soft voice that barely reached a whisper. "Take everything off. Let us see," one man taunted, grabbing the edge of her dress. The others laughed, pushing her back and forth like a rag doll, mocking her size, her walk, her clothes, every part of her that made her human. Clara backed into the trove, trembling. "Please, please don't," she whispered. But the men kept laughing, circling her, blocking every way out as tears rolled down her cheeks. People saw from a distance but pretended not to. No one wanted trouble with these 3. No one ever did. Except one man. At the far end of the street, a tall cowboy named Colt Harwood stepped out of the barber shop, brushing dust off his coat. He didn't know Clara. He didn't know her name, her past, or her story, but he recognized fear and cruelty instantly. And he recognized the look of a girl breaking under it. His jaw tightened. His boots turned. The men didn't even notice him, not yet, but they would. Colt approached with a slow, measured walk, one that carried the weight of a man who'd buried too many regrets. The first ranch hand looked up. "Move along, cowboy. Private fun here." Colt didn't answer. He stepped between Clara and the men, blocking her from sight with his broad back. "You boys had your chance to walk away. You missed it." The biggest ranch hand swung first, drunk and sloppy. Colt caught his wrist midair, twisted hard, and drove a fist into the man's gut. The man folded like a bad poker hand. The second man lunged with a broken bottle. Colt's boot swept his legs, sending him slamming into the dirt. The third tried to run, but Colt grabbed his collar and slammed him into a rain barrel, cracking the plank. The street fell silent. Clara stared at Colt, breathing hard, clutching the remains of her torn shawl. Colt took off his coat and gently wrapped it around her shoulders. "No one touches you again," he said softly. He walked her out into the lamplight, where people watched with wide eyes. A shame they hadn't stepped in first. She whispered, "Why would you help me?" Colt looked at her, steady and calm. "Because someone should have done it long before I got here." Colt walked Clara to the Redwood Crossing Inn. She told him she'd come seeking work after her parents died, but everywhere she stopped, people mocked her weight or turned her away. She kept her voice small, as if apologizing for existing. Colt listened quietly. He didn't interrupt, didn't judge. He just let her speak. Inside the inn, he bought her dinner, hot stew and bread she hadn't tasted in days. Clara ate slowly, tears mixing with relief. "I'm not used to kindness," she said. Colt nodded. "You deserve better than what this world gave you." The innkeeper, a kind older woman, promised Clara a room and work in the mornings. Clara nearly broke down again, this time from hope. Colt stood to leave, tipping his hat. "You're safe now," he said. "But if anyone bothers you again, you send for me." Her voice trembled. "Will you come back?" He smiled faintly. "Count on it." But dawn, everyone in Redwood Crossing knew what Colt had done. The 3 ranch hands limped through town, bruised and embarrassed, while folks whispered behind coffee mugs and porch rails about the big girl they had mocked, and the cowboy who showed what real courage looked like. Some people finally offered Clara small kindnesses, a warm smile, a gentle greeting, a "you doing all right today." Others avoided Colt entirely, knowing he wasn't a man to tolerate cruelty in any form. Clara stood on the inn porch, the morning light soft across her face. She held her borrowed apron tight, still not used to being part of a place that didn't immediately shove her away. When Colt walked by to saddle his horse outside the livery, she stepped down the wooden steps. "You changed everything," she said, her voice steadier than the night before. Colt shook his head slowly. "No, you held yourself together when others tried to break you. That's strength. Don't forget it." Clara looked down, tears gathering, but this time they weren't from humiliation. Nobody ever defended me, she whispered. Not once. That's their shame, Colt replied. Doesn't define you. He mounted his horse, then paused, looking at her like she was finally being seen for the person she really was. Not her size, not her struggles, but her heart. If anyone troubles you again, you send for me. I will, she whispered. And Colt, thank you. He tipped his hat. This town needed a reminder of what's right. As he rode out, the dust trailing behind him, Clara watched with a hope she'd never felt before. For the first time in her life, she wasn't invisible. She wasn't someone to mock. She was someone worth standing up for. And Redwood Crossing. It would never forget the night a stranger taught them all a lesson in decency and dignity.